the volume up over here. She does that to me all the time. Okay. All right. Hey guys, how you doing? Hey, it's me, Chef Mick. Welcome to my show, Cooking for the Boys Live. Get your aprons, get your chef coats. Ah, that one, okay, it went on. Wow. Okay, today we're doing Carne Guisada. It is a Tex-Mex staple. It is basically stewed meat. It's just the way we stew it and the ingredients we add that make it really special. If you go to my website, www.ricklucio.com, the recipe is there. If you've already done that and you're ready to cook with me, that is wonderful. Let me fold my sleeves a little bit. Okay, what am I forgetting, guys? We have our jacket, which means I'm forgetting my hat. That's right. So let's get our hat going. All right, guys. Now, here's the deal. I've already started it once because it does take a while to stew. It does take a while to cook and soften up and stuff. And I wanted to make sure it was ready for you all by the end of the show. So let's look at my work area. We're gonna make it, I'm gonna show you how to start it and everything, then I'll finish that off after the show's over. Because either way, I'm eating it. So it doesn't really matter. Here, let's check out our work area. Let's check out my work area. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, I was listening to the Beach Boys, so I have the Beach Boys stuck in my head a little bit. Here's my work area. All right, here's the stewed meat. Here's the carne guisada I've already started way back here. Oh, smells good. It looks good. It is gonna be good. So let's clear off my things. These are cute, aren't they? I like my knife. Okay, what do we start with? Well, first of all, you need something to cook it in, okay? You could do it in a big skillet. I prefer you guys try to use this kind of a pan, okay? Let's turn on the heat, and let's put it on high for right now. We're gonna turn it low, really low later. And today we're gonna use canola oil. We need an oil with a high smoke point, okay? Olive oil has a very low smoke point, which means that it'll start smoking and burning right away. We need something that can hold the heat for the length of time that we're going to cook all of this stuff. So today we're using canola oil. If you have vegetable oil, if you have lard, whichever one you like to use, that's fine. So we don't need a lot, but we do need to cover the bottom of this pan. We're going to come back to the oil, so don't put it away yet. Okay, we want to cover the bottom of the pan, and we want to get it nice, and let's get it hot. It's going. The meat. Let's talk about the meat, guys. This meat was actually cut, and I actually bought it not as stew meat, but as stir-fry meat. Okay, so you can see it's cut for stir-fry. If you want to cut it down from here, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, if you want to cut it down, there's nothing wrong with cutting it down even more, especially some of these longer pieces. If you buy the stew meat, it's going to be really big chunks. And that's fine. You're just gonna cook for a long enough time to cook all of it through. But if it doesn't fall apart for you, then it's bigger than a mouthful, and people will have to cut it, and that's what we're trying to avoid. So I like to make mine smaller, simply because that way I don't have to worry about serving it with a knife that people would be using. So here we go. And this, like I said, this was already cut small. So if you want to leave it at the stir-fry size, that's fine also. I think I left the other one at stir-fry size. All right. We've got oil in here. We're going to add our meat. Okay? Yes. Okay. I want to make sure I turned on the right burner. You know me, I've always got the wrong burner going. This time I got the right burner. I've got to wash that off while I'm doing this. So let's get the meat going here and get it starting to brown here. Turn that water off. Okay, so the burner's on. Apparently it was not turned all the way. Let me switch it out for you real quick. This burner's been on this whole time, and it'll get hot right away for me. So let me get this over here. I hate when these little things happen. That's my fault. I'd rather have gas anyway, because at least with the gas I know it's on. Okay, so we got that. Well, you know, we got to throw some salt on our meat anyway. So let's throw some salt, not too much there. Let's throw some, what are we going to throw, guys? Pepper, that's right. Pepper, salt and pepper, always. Okay. Now, we got salt and pepper. We got the meat going. The only other spice I'm going to use right now, is comino, ground cumin. Okay? Don't be shy on this spice either. This is a good spice, and it's going to add great flavor to your dish. And that's all we're going to do to it right now. We got to brown it. Gosh, I hope we don't burn it. We've got to brown it with these flavors, and then we got to remove it from the pan. So, thankfully it's heating up and starting to brown already. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes doing that. While I do that, let me do the first flying camera of the day to show you what I've already accomplished. Okay, so here's flying camera number 1. This is what I've already worked on. It would help if I could hold the camera still. Okay, so it's been stewing. You see the bay leaf in there. It's got jalapenos, onion, and garlic in it. Now, we're browning it over here. We're browning the meat over here. Right there. And that's what we're going to work on right now. So, let me put the camera back so you can see continue seeing the work area here. All right. Let's continue browning it then. Anyway, today I was listening to the Beach Boys as I was preparing my kitchen. And out of all their great songs, and I was listening to the Sounds of Summer, I think is what it's called. Anyway, out of all their great songs, the one that's stuck in my head right now is You're So Good to Me. It's an excellent song. Alright, so we've got the meat browned. So what we want to do is remove the meat from here, but not with all the liquid. We want to keep it separate from the liquid. I know what you're saying. You're saying, well, how am I supposed to stew it if it's separate from the liquid? Believe me, we're going to work on that right now. Then we're going to put the liquid right here. Okay? With all those extra spices that you see at the bottom. And then, even though I say not to use a lot of water, we do need some water. We're going to put water in the pan and scrape off all the bottom. The culinary world calls this deglazing. Okay? My world calls it scraping off the bottom of the pan with water. So, this is deglazing. We've got to deglaze the pan. And then we're going to start, but we're going to put the deglazed liquid in with the rest of the liquid that we just had out. Then we're going to drop just a tiny bit of oil. We don't need as much as we did for the meat. Okay, just a tiny bit there. Here's the discarded liquid. Now, yes, some of this liquid is from here, but you're going to see it's all going to go back into it. All right, so we got the oil back in there. Now we're going to add our onion. Do I need this onion for something else? Yes. Okay. I need onion for something else, so I'm not going to put it all in. Our garlic. I'm also going to use garlic for something else. And jalapenos. Okay? I'm going to throw all those jalapenos in. I got a couple more to cut up right here. That's not a big deal. All right. So now we're going to let that cook until the, for a couple of minutes until the onion becomes a little bit translucent, see-through, whatever you want to call it. And let's move it around a bit. There you go. Moving it around a bit. And of course, doing that to jalapeno really hits your throat. Of course, don't be afraid to throw a little bit of salt on this to help sweat out the liquids of the veggies there. Okay, so now we're going to sweat these veggies out. I'm also going to show you guys a couple of other things to do, and you're going to say, wow, really? I didn't know we could do that. And believe me, you can do it. We're going to get it all done all at the same meal right here. Oh, now I understand what was going on. You're so good to me. How come you are? Let's put that to the back over there. Let's move up here. No. Yeah, I'll put this up here. You know what? I'm going to put this. I'm not ready to use this yet, but we're going to. So I'm going to put it in the oven right now. And then we're going to use this pan right here for the next step anyway. So I'm going to put it here. That pan's already on while I do this. All right, so all we got in here, onion, jalapeno, and garlic. Okay, careful with that garlic. Now we're going to throw back in there. We're going to put the meat. Okay, there you go. Now, because the heat is a little too hot, then all the liquid that just went in, and that was liquid coming out of the meat, is actually disappearing. It's dissipating right now. So let's throw some of the liquid we got here, throw some of that back into this. Not all of it. Not all of it. Just some of it. Now, if you're saying, okay, I don't have enough liquid, and you want to use something else, yes, you can use water. But what's the trouble when you use water, guys? Water dilutes the flavor. If you want to put it over here with your stock for a little while, that's fine. We're going to use it later. And if you need to add a little in here, that's fine. But I would prefer that you just add stock. Okay? Just add straight stock to it. I would prefer, I think this is a veggie stock, but I think you should use a beef stock or a beef soup base, and you'd really get it going. See, this went onto a very hot burner, and I'm gonna have to throw some more liquid in here before I lose all my liquid. This is the one that's gonna be ready by the time you're ready. Okay, bam. That part, my friends, and I borrowed the bam from somebody I know. That part is done. Okay, the good part right there is done. Now this we're gonna leave it to stew. We're going to leave it to get hot. I'm sorry. Let's add this. I forgot. This is tomato sauce. Go ahead and add it about half a can. That's fine. Okay? To add to that, this needs to turn down. And I'll use that in a minute. And bay leaf. Now we're going to leave it to stew. There you go. There you go. Oh, now that's better. We have a certain color we're looking for, which is why, and I need to do this with this. Hold on. Got to cool off this pan a little bit, which is why I'm adding the tomato sauce, okay? Because we're trying to keep it a color. Now, over here in the back, I'm going to turn this on. Okay, I actually did turn it on this time. I'm going to make beans. If you haven't seen, these are pinto beans basic. If you haven't seen my mini episode, which can be found on the mini episode page of my website, www.ricklucio.com. The mini episode shows you to do exactly what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to take a basic can of pinto beans and make them fantastic. This happens to be salted pork. Okay? It's not bacon, it's salted pork, but you can use bacon if you don't have salted pork. This salted pork does not give me a lot of fat with it, so I'm going to add a little bit of oil to try to draw out some more of the fat. There you go. If I can reduce it, then I can draw out some more of that fat from inside of it. Throw some salt on there, and I've got salted pork going. Basically, what we want to do is we want to add flavor to these beans. If you think these beans are made with flavor, even if they say jalapeno or whatever, they're not made with flavor, my friends. We're going to go ahead and use whole peeled tomatoes for the beans, even though I don't want to use the whole can, so I'll have to find something else to put them in. So let's cook the salted pork a little bit more. I would sing the song, but they sing it in such a high pitch or high register, whatever you guys call it, that there's no way I can get that high. I mean, my voice is high already, but it doesn't get any higher than this. You know, I do not have one of those very low masculine type voices, but there's no way I can sing a Beach Boys song. It's like trying to sing Frankie Valley. Just can't do it. You know, so all right. So the beans are heating up. We've got this over here heating up, stewing. We have this over here still stewing that we're going to finish off later. And this is to make the beans taste really, really good. So we've got salted pork, onions. The rest of my onion that goes there for that part. Ouch. Garlic. Yeah, I'm not going to use this garlic anywhere else. So garlic. And let's throw a little bit of this, which is the water I put into the tomato thing. Okay. There you go. And now, you can always get this can and you can just cut up the tomatoes while they're in the can. Yes, it's not great for your knife, but it's not going to kill your knife. And if it does, make sure you buy a better knife next time. I use if you're not going to buy American steel, you know, buy German. They make the better knives anyway. But American steel products are very, very good. Germans are superior for knife products. And I know people think, oh, Japanese or whatever. No, their steel products are not. Yes, they make some good stuff, guys, but it's not knife making. Okay, knife making is not what they do. So we're cooking this. Let's throw a couple of those cut up tomatoes and stuff in here. And all we want to do is heat this thing up here. Okay, we want to cook the pork and heat up the tomatoes and stuff right here. There you go. Oh, that's going to be perfect. And then one last bit for this is jalapeno. Now, if you want, you can cut it in half and de-seed it like this. Very simple. Bam, no seed, okay? Or you can cut it, keep it in with the seeds. I know they say the seed makes it hotter, and I'm sure it does, but it's up to you. But when I do jalapenos in the beans, I cut them thicker because I want people to be able to say, oh, you know, I'm not a jalapeno fan, so I'm going to pull it out, and that's fine. I'm looking for flavor myself. I'll eat the jalapeno, but a lot of people won't. All right, so we're going to do this. I'm going to let this work. I got to clean my area because this is just a very small part of what we're doing today, guys. What do we have? We have, this should be on very low. We have this going, and I'm going to turn it lower. We have beans that I'm about to flavor, and then the piece of I don't know how to say it, guys. Anyway, a couple of cool things that are pieces of resistance. I don't know what those French people say. I'm not good at French. I failed French, as a matter of fact, in school. I did fail after they changed professors on me in the midway through. All right, so let me show you how to do one real quick while I'm doing this. I'm going to show you a real quick but very tasty salsa. Okay, we're going to need jalapeno. All right, actually I had a jalapeno here I'm going to use. I'm not going to take the seeds out of this one though. Okay, I'm just going to cut it up like this because I'm putting it into a food processor. Okay, so I don't need to cut it small. Food processor will do all the work. Okay, jalapeno and onion. Okay, jalapeno and onion goes all in here in the food processor. Can you see my food processor? There's my food processor. Jalapenos, onion, and what's this, guys? Cilantro. Okay, just a bunch of that right there. If you want more onion later, that's cool. If you need more jalapeno later, that's cool. Here we go. Do this. Go. And that's it, guys. And that is it. Okay? Actually, it's not. You know, you should throw some... Okay, let me turn this down. This is too hot. You know you should throw some salt and pepper, which I'll do in a minute. Okay, the beans are over here. They're heating through already. This is going to go into the beans. Okay? This is flavorful. The beans are not flavorful. The beans just became flavorful. Just like that, guys. It's that easy. Now, we'll cook the beans like this and let them sit and let them heat through also, you know, finish heating through. So the beans are ready. Okay? Before we go on to anything else here, let me finish the rest of that. That just needs to go in there. That's cool. All right, now, here's this thing. This is nice. Let's put a little bit of salt. Oh my gosh. Tell you what, the jalapeno I chose is very strong. So then you take this over here. Take out the blade, please, because I don't want you to cut yourself. Okay. You're so good to me. How come you are? Okay. See, I can sing it, but I really can't get as high as I can. Okay, so and then one last thing to show you before we finish off the carne guisada with this cooking and cooking and cooking all this time. Okay. So this is what this looks like. It's beautiful. It's hot and flavorful and very quick. And I promise you, it has such a good taste that people will want to know where you got your idea from, and you got it right here. So let's get rid of this stuff. Cleaning out my area. Oh, these things in here. Let me move this over here. I don't need it anymore. All right. You know, as we go, we should be cleaning all the time, right, guys? We should always clean as you go. So what else can I show you? Well, there is no way in the world, my wife will eat this with anything other than flour tortillas. So if you haven't gone and checked out, my past videos on YouTube, then you haven't seen how to make a flour tortilla. I'm going to throw a flour tortilla together so fast, it'll make your head spin. So what do we do first? We need some flour. Obviously that works first. Flour. I'm not going to make a bunch of them, so I don't need a lot of flour. I'll do 1.5 of these things. That's like 1.5 cups. Big deal. Flour tortillas need 2 things, guys. They need salt. And don't be shy. Well, don't go too heavy, but don't be shy. If you go shy, you're not going to get any salt in there. If you go heavy, at least you can deal with the salt. They need baking powder. Okay? I use this baking powder is a little bit dry on the inside. You know, it's like packed in. So luckily I have these, which are metal. Okay? You don't need as much baking powder as you do salt. This happens to be a teaspoon, and I'll use about a teaspoon, a little over a teaspoon. That's plenty. Now, that's all the powder you need. Okay, guys? But that's not all you need to put in there. It requires lard. Okay, I use Crisco. But because I like mine a little different, I don't use just Crisco. I also use the Smart Balance bread. If you have butter, if that's all you use, then use your butter. So use half Crisco and half butter. Okay? This is a tablespoon. It doesn't matter because that's not a tablespoon that I scooped out. Okay? A large scoop of Crisco. And that's all that matters. A large scoop of Crisco. And then I'll use one of these other ones for my butter. And then try to use the same amount of butter as you did Crisco. Give it a fighting chance in there, the flavoring. All right. That's good. Get the butter out of the way. The butter we're going to use on the tortillas later, believe me. Now, all right, let me check on this. How's this going, guys? Woo. Oh, wonderful. This is going beautifully. That is going beautifully. This is on and getting hot. So what else do I need, guys? Well, I need hot water. If you're watching my video said cold water. It was my very first video ever. And I was trying to impress everybody with my cold water ways. The cold water doesn't really work on tortillas, guys. So don't go back and watch my video and then yell at me that I changed up on you. I already know that. Okay. Nice hot water to melt the butter, to melt the lard, to collect everything together. Bum, 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 bum. I can already tell you there's not enough flour in here. I can already tell you there's not enough flour in here. So what am I going to do, guys? I'm going to add more flour. There we go. And yes, I may need to add some more water, but there was more lard and butter than there was flour. And it may sound delicious that way, and it may be delicious that way, but that's not how I make them. Okay? So I'm also going to need a little bit of water here, a little bit more water. And here we go. All right. A little bit more water. There we go. Remember, if you're adding water and you put in too much, then what do you go to? Flour. If you're adding flour and you put too much, what do you go to? Water. Simple stuff, guys. Okay. My tortilla pan is ready. And again, let's do this and add some more. Let's add a little bit more flour because I can. Oh no, because I need to. All right, but I can also. All right, here's the hard part. It sticks to my fingers. And, ooh, look at this, tortillas. Yes, this is gonna be beautiful. Let's get all the stuff that's down here. Got to mix it all together. Come on. Picks it up. Picks it up. Come on. Come on. There's no way you're too sticky right now. You have plenty of flour. Fine. Fine. You want to fight me? I'll fight you. Okay, I'm yelling at the flour tortillas, but don't get alarmed. Okay, I will not be causing a flour tortilla disturbance here. I will be eating them very shortly, and therefore I will always win. I know, I'm just talking gibberish, but I'm talking gibberish to fill in the time. It's that or seeing the Beach Boys. And okay, maybe I should just be singing the Beach Boys. You're so good to me. How come you on? See? All right, now let's throw some flour out here so that we can roll out a tortilla. Okay, so here's the dough. Get rid of this stuff here. Here's the dough. This is too big of a tortilla. Here's the dough. Roll it out. Put it here. My rolling skills are horrendous. Okay? My rolling skills are horrendous, and my tortilla press did not make it in time for the show. I'm very upset with the shipping company, the people I bought it from. Okay? But that's all right. We're going to work on it. It's still a little sticky, so it's sticking to my rolling pin. Boy, I just love doing my shows live. I just love doing my shows live and showing you every mistake I can possibly make. Because every mistake I make is one less mistake you get to make, guys. It's one less mistake you all get to make. You're welcome for that. There you go. Bum, 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 bum. You're so good to me. All right. They're not round. They're not perfectly round like my dad and my grandma used to say. You're not rolling them into your mouth, so don't worry about them being perfectly round. This is already hot. It was hot earlier. All right. Let me roll one more. And then we're going to finish up, and then we're done for the day, guys. That's right. Finish up, and then done for the day. Let me roll one more. I'm going to show you. What we want to do with this stuff here. Okay, I'm gonna make the rest of these tortillas when I'm off the air anyway. But I want to show you that I can make more than one. I'm going to show you that I can make more than one. Barely. All right, here we go. Great job, Rick. Great job. Okay, is this one ready to turn yet? Woo. I tried to wash that off. It's a little dark, but that's all right. Let me turn it up a little. Okay. Tortillas out of the way. Beans are ready, basically. They're ready because they're heated through and they're flavored already. So let's finish the carne guisada, guys. Now, what's left for the carne guisada, you say? Well, what's left happens to be adding a little bit of thickness to it, okay? So we're going to use this. Remember the liquid that we had earlier? We're going to drop a little bit of flour. We don't want a lot. If you put too much flour, then this becomes a gravy instead of just a beautiful, well, it becomes a thick gravy instead of just a beautiful liquid that your food swims in, okay? When you're doing this and you're adding flour here, you need to make sure this, first of all, it's cooled off enough, but let's get rid of all those lumpy flour dots that went in there so that we don't have lumps in our other stuff, okay? All right, so now, it does need to heat a little bit through here. Let me remove this over here, put it right there. All right, so let me show you that I still have plenty of liquid. Here's a flying camera, guys. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Where is it? There it is. You can see there's plenty of liquid. You can see my bay leaf. I'm going to remove my bay leaf right now. I don't need it to be in the way of my flour. Okay? Now, and then I don't need to drop all of this. I got two pots of this to make. I'm going to drop half of this in. Okay? The other half will go over there. The other half will go over there. Now, as this finishes heating up, it's going to thicken a little bit. If you don't like that it's not thick enough, that's fine. Add a little bit more flour, but only add it a little at a time. We don't want to add so much that it gets so thick on us. Okay, now you're saying, well, if you add the rest of what's in that, here you go. If you add the rest of what's in here, then what am I going to do with this? Well, that's what what is this called? The stock. I'm sorry. That's what the stock is for, guys. That's why we have veggie or you know, even a little bit of water. That's why we have it in here. So we can use it and continue to add a little bit of thickness to this. Let's throw a little bit more here. Okay, now I'll throw a little stock in here to use for my, there you go, for my flour. All right, guys, and that, my friends, that is how they say is that. So, carne guisada. All right, it's stewed. You can leave this on as long as you want, guys. This has been on for 45 minutes. If you want it, because this was started before I started the show. If you want it on for an hour and 15, you know, whatever, that's up to you. It's been on for 45 minutes. Look at my tortilla. Oh, look at my tortilla, guys. Isn't that beautiful? Let's put this other tortilla on so it can cook. Thank you. Now I need to let me get a paper towel. Look at my tortilla. Beautiful tortilla. All right. So, now, if it's not getting thick enough with flour, yes, use cornstarch. Cornstarch thickens right away, or a lot faster probably. So, how are we going to serve this, guys? Well, both of these dishes happen to have a lot of liquid in them. The beans and the carne guisada. So if you try to put them in the same bowl, it's just all going to mix together. So we need to put them in separate bowls, and that's not a problem. Because if you're not serving rice, and I'm not serving rice, then go ahead and use like a soup bowl or a cup. Okay? Put some of the meat. Oh, beautiful stuff right here. Okay? And where is my? Here, put that there. And I need to get some of that liquid in there. Believe me. I need to get some of the liquid in here. It'll look much better on film. Now, remember, I'm only cooking for 2 people this week. I'm not cooking at all next week, guys, but I'll be back on the 2nd, right before Super Bowl. And I will be back to show you my Super Bowl tailgating party. Now, let's go to the beans. Oh, that's better. There you go. All right. And this is, oh, let's turn our tortilla over. Oh, beautiful. This, my friends, is what we came to make. Right here. Right here. Carne Guisada. Okay, try to get a little more light in there for you. Look at the beans. Remember, it started out as a simple can of beans. We have flour tortilla. This one's a little, I probably still have too much lard. That's why it's not as flexible, but that's all right. I happen to like them this way. My grandmother made them that way. One of them did. The other one made them flexible. I love my grandmothers. They're both hopefully in heaven, but who knows? I'm sure they are. I love them very much. And without them, I certainly wouldn't have the skills to do any of this. So, guys, well, let me do this. Okay, that's it, guys. That's it. Carne guisada, beans and tortillas. I also showed you, don't forget, I also showed you how to make a little bit. This is just onion, jalapeno, and cilantro. If you want to throw a dash of lemon or lime juice in there, that's fine. I prefer lime juice, but I did not. Just a little bit of salt. This is a great meal, especially in this cold weather. And that's what we're doing this for. We're doing this for the cold weather. So, I'm Chef Mick. This is Cooking for the Boys Live. If you know how to cook, you can marry for looks. Thank you to my partner in crime, Duran, on the other side, helping me direct and produce this thing. He's in Texas. Thank you, Duran. This is a Revolucion Studio production. Duran has a couple of videos. Is it The Real Duran? I think that's what it's called. Or the Duran Lucio on YouTube. You can go watch his videos off of Revolucion Studios also. And go back and check out. This is our 15th episode, 1-5, since September. I'm having a great time doing it. I hope you guys are having a great time watching it. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks. Love you guys. Peace and love. Peace and love. See y'all. Bye.